I've been asked to demonstrate how I make meatballs and sausage. People will be surprised how simple it is. But I'm getting a cup of coffee going and I'm putting in the kitchen before I begin, and then I'll move on next to the ingredients. Because we're making a lot of meatballs and sausage, I'm using a little bit of a bigger pot. Sometimes I use a smaller one. I do like the cast iron to cook them. The spoon to scoop them. The knife to cut through some of this stuff. Olive oil, of course. Ground chuck is very important because I've tried sirloin in the past, even though that's like a finer blend. I think the fattierness of the ground chuck helps with the flavor. Sausage is also very important, so I always go with Hatfield. I've tried a couple different sausages, very good quality. So I go with the Hatfield Hot Italian. They do have other types, but I always go with the Hot Italian. I've tried a couple different sauces over the years, but this is the one that I now always use. Just basically tomatoes and good stuff that's in it. I get the arrabbiata, which is a little bit hotter, but it's not, I wouldn't call this thing that hot. When it's Lisa and I sometimes use like half a pound. Same thing here, that's about a pound. Sometimes I just use a third of a pound if it's just Lisa and I, because I find the more I make, the more I eat. This bowl for the mixing of the meat, an egg, which I'll show you about, breadcrumbs, Progresso, salt and pepper for the ground chuck, and then in the sauce I do add a little bit more of red pepper and garlic powder. You know, Italians a lot have the Holy Grail, which is the beef, veal, I guess, and pork. I only use beef, that's what we've always used, so I never do my meatballs with anything but beef. It's about to turn 12:40 in the afternoon. It's Thursday. Today will be a little bit longer. I can typically do this in, I'm not kidding, sometimes 15 minutes, because I could actually get it all cooked and into the pot, and then I just let it cook for 4 hours in a perfect setting like this time. We're gonna cook it, let it cook it all day for a couple hours, and then put it in the refrigerator overnight. It does help with the flavor. Take the pot. Again, this is 2 just because we're making a little bit extra for Phil and Leslie, and hopefully they can take some of this home with them. Just a little bit just to get the rim, not too much. A little shakeroni, just to get all that. You can really manage the water levels. Like I'll do it when I'm cooking. If I feel like it needs more water, I keep the lid on. If I feel like it needs less water, I take the lid off and let it evaporate. So you can still manage it even throughout the process. But this sauce is very good, very tasty. I do take pepper. Again, it's already a hot sauce, but I do take a little bit of pepper. Not too much, but I just to give it a little bit more punch. Not too much. And the same with garlic salt. I'm a fan of garlic. Not too much, but I feel like that helps. Just start cooking a little bit. So I'll put it on here. I put it on low, and that thing now is on its way. We'll get a dish, I'll put it on the side because I'll be stirring that throughout the process with the spoon. So the sauce is begun. I usually start with the sausage. I do put olive oil even to begin with the sausage, even though it kicks off a lot of fat itself. I always start with the sausage, I don't know, just easier. Gets me going, gets me some momentum. The thing that I'm trying to do with these is brown them, get a nice coating, but I don't want them fully cooked.
They cook in the sauce?
And then they cook in the sauce, yeah. Everyone knows what a sausage kind of looks like. Obviously, this does not have that. So I do try and create that. You can't get too thick with them because they are pretty thick. And I kind of like them like kind of middle size, I guess. All right, so then I cook it this way, got it this way. And again, depending on, you know, sometimes I go bigger, sometimes smaller, all right? And then I start cutting them up. And again, I try and shape them just a hair. I shape them to kind of look like a traditional sausage. You guys probably heard this too. You try not to mess with the meat too much. And just as little as possible. I try and stay away from touching it too much. And I usually do about 8 at a time. Again, I'm just trying to shape them. But I do think you do need to manage. Don't put too many in because they should kind of work as batches. Like you shouldn't be, so that they kind of all cook somewhat evenly. Not overcook it. While that's happening, I can at least get a little something going with the meat. My mom used to say a pound would make about 15 meatballs, depending on the size. And this is going to be a lot because we expect Phil to take some home with him. I do salt it.
If you had to measure that, how much salt?
I have no idea. I would need your help. Oh, that's too much pepper. It's okay. Again, I don't want to overwork it, but I'll move it around just a little bit so that I can salt the other side. So again, I'm multitasking, but I then come back to here. I'm trying to get just a little bit of that. I'm trying to get that brown sear like right there. That's what I'm trying to get. Again, I'm not trying to cook everything through, but I am trying, I like it to get that little bit of brown sear on each one. That one's a good one. I like that searing there. So again, I'm not really trying to cook them fully, but I don't put them in raw either. And then I just start plucking them. When I think like this one, I think it's ready to go. Even though it's not fully cooked, but it's got a good sear on the one side. And I just start dropping them in. But I just like to get a good sear. I like that, like a good sear. I don't want it cooked, but I do like it where it looks like it's seared. That's got a little bit of rawness. I think there's another second. When we were growing up, this was ready to go. We would call it macaroni. So we had macaroni a lot. But we did used to sit down for dinner. And that one's looking good. All right, and then basically I repeat the process for the rest of the sausage. I'll do that and I'll come back with the meatballs. It's 1 o'clock. I think we started them at 12:39. What's that, 21 minutes? And that's long. But again, I just throw them in that pot. The pot's on low. If I think it needs more water, I put the lid on. If I want to take some water out, I can take the lid off. All right, so now we're at the meatballs. So again, all ground beef, ground chuck. All it was salt and pepper. I cracked an egg into this. I used to put it in there, but then sometimes I find my meatballs, the biggest challenge I get is they get wet when I'm rolling them. So a lot of times I'll try and manage how much egg. My understanding is it's supposed to be 1 egg per pound. There's over a pound in there. Breadcrumbs is kind of a tricky thing too. You don't want to put too many. But again, you want to try and disturb the ground beef as little as possible. Sometimes I think the mistake is too many breadcrumbs, so generally erring lighter seems to be better. And that's it. Okay, so the thing's still hot. The size, I've gone sometimes big, sometimes small. I'm on kind of a smaller kick, medium kick. Again, try not to do too much. These do not feel so wet, which is good. And really, it just takes 2 rolls. Something like that, whatever it is. Off you go. I mean, I kind of squeeze it a couple times to start forming a ball. I don't like it wet. It's got to be just kind of sticky a little bit. These are decent size. I'll probably make them a little bit bigger because I cut down the cooking time. But again, I try and round them, but I don't go crazy. Sear them, get a good brown on them. Try not to overcook them. Try to get them right before they're done. I already once turned down the heat, but I just do it off the listen. Feels like it's cooking at a pretty good temperature where it's not going to get ahead of me. Again, that's it. Just kind of a couple of these. Again, same thing. I'm just looking for a sear. This is decent. That looks pretty good. Just kind of get them all seared. And that's it. I'm not trying to cook them all the way through. I'm trying to get a little bit of a sear. And just kind of kick them around to the spots that I want to kind of be addressed. Sometimes when I get fancy, I feel like I'm a French chef. I baste them. I don't think you can get enough olive oil on these things. I try not to let Lisa see me doing this. But I will baste them like this. I just kind of drop them in. I don't want them fully cooked. I might do a stir. Put those back. We're 45 minutes in. We're finishing up. Usually takes me 20 minutes, 25. I was able to clean up while these meatballs were cooking, but here's the last of them. You can see this is a lot of meatballs. This is a lot of meatballs and sausage. That's a big pot. We'll probably let this sit on low a couple hours, not too much, a couple hours. And then you'll notice that the sauce gravy will start getting a film on it. You start seeing it on those rims, and you'll notice that the sauce will start to mature, I guess, and that's what you're looking for. And then we'll put it in the fridge overnight. And when you guys are coming down tomorrow, we'll take it out, and again, we'll just start heating it up. By it sitting overnight as well, it'll taste even better. That's really it. Lisa's gonna have some good pasta that she's making. We're gonna have some good meatballs to eat. Okay, that's it. Ciao.